A Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo. Sorry. This is Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo Chapter 10. And last we left off, we got the conclusion to the flashback regarding Cross and Maru's backstories. We learned that he was forced, that their father figure was forced to participate in a duel between himself and the Sukuna looking guy that we've been dealing with this entire time, who seems to be a pretty nice guy actually, and was forced into fighting. And before he died, he promised the guy that he would travel with the I forget the different. I know the Diskunte are the
Cimmerians.
The Cimmerians. Well, the Cimmerians are all of them, but I know there's like
all of them, right?
Yeah. The
Rumelians.
Yeah, he promised to protect the Rumelians as they decided to leave their planet and search for true neighbors, and that's why they are on Earth. And we cut to this Earth Council, discussing the alien activity that's been going on, especially the recent battle between the curse user and the kids and Maru. And they were like, can we really allow this? I mean, I feel like we're just letting the aliens get away with a little bit too much right now. And he's like, well, I heard it was the Cimmerians who refused your escort, Usami. There's like all this happened when both sorcerers were incapacitated. So Special Envoy Maru stepped in to resolve the situation. But then there's this other guy who's like, well, when the second year Tsurugi Okotsu attempted to intervene, Marulu tried to harm him. And I guess Usami's assistant was like, no, I deleted the footage, I swear. So he's like, according to Article 7 of Jujutsu regulations, the Cimmerians should be categorized as threats. And Usami shoots back as not according to the Hakari provisions. This is interesting. So this is actually a thing that was brought up. That was like one of Hakari's goals, is to make Jujutsu battles like a gambleable sport. And it's funny that it's being brought up here, and like we get a conclusion to that. So they were talking about how a long time ago there was talk about making Jujutsu battles into performances as a public form of public gambling, but the government made since the government made the existence of cursed spirits public due to the culling game. So this was the next thing, and the plan, they just didn't approve that shit. But they said that the Hakari provision was created when they made preliminary revisions to Jujutsu regulations. It includes clause allowing sorcerers to engage in paid combat. So I guess it allows sorcerers to be paid to fight, but not in the sense that, not in the way the Hakari wanted, where it's like the UFC for a cursed spirit for Jujutsu sorcerers.
That would have been so sick.
It would have been so sick. You're muted, I think, Josh.
I said maybe it's still happening underground.
Maybe we get to see old man Hakari just like still running.
I mean, that's what Hakari was doing before he got introduced.
Yeah.
Right? He was running underground fighting rings.
Yeah. I'm sure he didn't give up on that just because the government said no. But anyway. Yeah, so special. They say that that's basically the loophole they use to excuse Maru, Tsurugi, and Yuka's actions, because they're technically all under contract and they're technically employees and they're getting paid for this. So under the Hakari provisions, there's no problem with Jujutsu battles between contracted individuals. And we cut to a little flashback-esque thing where they made Maru just sign a contract so that he's able to fight with impunity, I guess. So, that pretty much solves their problem. But yeah, they basically say that like one of the humans says like we don't know that, but they're like worried that it should be a known fact that Simurians wield cursed energy, and they're like, well, we don't know that they can all wield it. And this guy who's like thirsty for conflict is like, why are you going out of your way to side with Simurians? He's like, why are you going out of your way to side against them? And Usami's like, why are you going out of your way to side against them? He's like, because in diplomacy, once they stop taking you seriously, it's all over. They've already kept us in check once. It's time for us to demonstrate the power of our own deterrent. We need to find Yuji Itadori. Bro, they said it. He's around.
And he looks pretty young. He doesn't look super old.
Yeah, I mean, we don't see his whole face, so maybe this is just like a little silhouette.
But still, his skin is fucking. If he is 80, that's like
he's got a good routine, bro.
He has great skin.
Maybe he has great routine, huh? He exfoliates, bro. Leave him alone. So Usami replies like, it's all over once they stop taking it seriously. Sure, that may be true for an individual or private company, but that doesn't apply to international relationships. He's like, if you want to stir things up just to feel like you're getting something done, that's your business, but don't drag the rest of us or the country into it. And this guy got embarrassed. He's like, kill them all. Yeah. And then we cut back to the Samorian ship, and we get this. I forget who this guy. I think he's that guy that Cross punched a long time ago in the flashback, where they're like, why does an outsider like Deborah get final say? What's the point of the decisions and the vote then? He's like, I'm sick of these brats. I hate Cross, especially the way he thinks he could walk all over me.
Salty.
Yeah, he's very salty, and he's like, just stay calm. The decision maker can only veto a council decision twice. I think this old. I just realized this old man isn't the guy we've been. The
Jabalo?
Yeah, Jabalo guy.
Jabaloma.
This is just another evil old man.
Oh, a different one. Yeah.
He's like, don't worry, we'll be able to outvote him at some point. And this guy's like, well, if you try to play nice, aiming for coexistence, then they'll just think that we'll get weak, that we're weak, and we'll get stolen from again. But this time we'll be like the Deskunte, and we'll never let anyone steal from us again.
You know what? Do you think Sukuna could have tanked a nuclear bomb?
I don't know.
I mean, he could have sliced it up, but it would have blown up anyway.
Yeah, it would have blown up. Unless he could have spliced up the explosion.
I mean, he did slice infinity, so I guess it wouldn't be absurd if he somehow found a way.
Yeah. Anyway.
He would definitely cheat on the way to do it, to achieving that. That's one thing I know.
No, Sukuna would make a binding vow that nukes couldn't hurt him.
I'm glad no one said binding vow yet in this series yet.
Not yet. Watch, it's gonna
come soon.
Don't worry. Jabaloma is this guy's name. Anyway, so Cross talks to Jabaloma. They're like, why are you withholding your answer about whether we should coexist with humans? He's like, why? Because you're doing the same. He's like, you and I carry 10 votes each. So if we vote for coexistence, then surely it will overturn what the majority's decision been until now. But he's also like, well, but Deborah could veto it again. But you decide, and I shall follow your lead. And he's like, well, don't you have your own wishes on the matter? He's like, entrusting others is plenty of valid a wish. So, Cross is thinking about everything that's been going on, and he's just like remembering all the trauma in his life before he makes a vote. And then we get the vote that the Samurians will be striving for coexistence with the Earthling. and their first step is to be understanding Japan as they are the representatives of Earth. And Angry Guy was pissed off because he's like, Jabaloma, you were against coexistence before. And Cross is like, no, we were just withholding our judgment until now. And this guy still is like, well, Maru isn't here. This vote is invalid. So, and this guy turns over, is like, Deborah, what will you do? And Deborah's like, I don't give a shit. Sure.
All right.
All right,
Cool.
whatever,
I
bro.
want to go to Japan.
Yeah. He's like, damn you. All you ever do is deny our wishes. And Deborah basically, in so many words, is like, all right, whatever. He's like, conflict or invasion, to put bluntly, can be done at any time. He's like, we could do this whenever. We might as well just like give it a chance and properly understand each other. And then if anything goes wrong, then we'll just fuck them up. It's fine.
He got the $8.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know why you're so stressed about. It's like, bro, we are so stronger than that.
Right. He said, didn't we leave Simuria in search of our neighbors to begin with?
Yeah, he's like, we came out here for friends and you just want to fight everybody? Come on, man.
Relax.
Calm down.
You avert your third eye.
You're acting like how I look like I would act.
That's good. Gotta write that one down.
Well, anyway, we cut back to Earth, and Jabaloma is like, well, they talk about Kalians, and Yuka's like, I guess they explain the entire story to them, and Yuka's like, well, Kalians eventually die, right? So every time Kalians die, Romulians is like, actually, Kalians are immortal, so they don't die from natural causes. They can only be killed. I was like, wow, no wonder you treat them as sacred beasts then. And Usami's like, well, regarding the culture explained, I think a dinner party might be good. What do you think? He's like, hell yeah, let's fucking party, bro. So, they go over to, he turns over to Usami and is like, you should, I'm counting on you for the preparations. So, they're going to go to, they're going to cook, I guess. They're going to make food for the dinner party.
We have to cook, Jesse.
We have to cook, Jesse.
Yeah, I think this is funny.
So first, he's like, well, let's make sure there aren't any problems in a list of our foods. Then we just have to make them and taste them. So, they were like, what do you guys even eat, by the way? And you don't have to go crazy. It's like, every Kalian's form is unique. Rumelians eat livestock raised for meat, as well as what you Earthlings call fish. So, we're not picky. We eat anything, basically. And, they were like, oh, shit, you guys had oceans? It's like, yeah, they had oceans. Oceans are the source of all life. But they mentioned that there were no sharks, though. So, that's important to know. And he's like, maybe, we should think about some some flour-based dishes. And flour-based is like, yeah, like takoyaki. And Maru turns over to Cross, is like, Cross, takoyaki delicious. So, they're like, all right, our cultural exchange is going to be a takopa. And they're like, what? And he's like, is that a word you made up for takoyaki party? That's fantastic. So I guess they're going to make takoyaki for them. And meanwhile, Tsurugi is showing Cross what a takoyaki is. And he's just picturing all of them eating takoyaki. And Cross is like, I'm not so sure about this. And that's where the chapter ends.
That's really concerned.
And that's where the chapter ends. Oh my God, Josh, what did you think about Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo Chapter 10?
What did I think about Jujutsu Slice of Life? Modulo Kaisen?
Modulo Kaisen.
Yeah, I'm high, guys. Sorry.
It's okay.
I like this little bit of context. I think that this alien backstory came in at the right time. So we kind of see where everybody's head is at before we push forward into like the events that may take place. We see that, ultimately these rebellions have been through a lot. And then the guy that made shit even worse for them is leading them
Yeah.
of his own will, who wants to help them, but it's definitely an awkward situation. So they have their own internal pressure on top of already leaving home, leaving their entire planet and trying to find a new one. I mean, this nigga with the short hair that Cross had to like beat up as a child, mind you, right?
Yeah.
Grown ass man. He's really insecure, and I get that. He doesn't ever want to have to be in a position where he's the one that runs away from his home again. He doesn't want to be oppressed on his, in his life at all. And I feel like the only dynamic he understands is oppressed or oppressor. So it's tragic, but it makes sense that they have that within their ranks. Obviously, he can't be the only one that feels this way. And I don't like this old guy. I think he feels like, you know what, the key to being Sumerian is unlocking our eye powers and going back to fucking Callionville and killing the rest of the Discontent. I think he wants to go back.
Yeah.
I think he wants to get strong, to get everyone stronger, like take all the Earth's resources and then go back.
Yeah.
Maybe take some human slaves to use as cursed energy batteries. Hey, if that's what happens, I called it,
Yeah.
I could do that too, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm at this point, any chapter that Jabaloma's in is a plus for me.
You really
why
like
is that the
Jabaloma?
case? I couldn't begin to explain to you.
There's just something about
why.
the guy.
Yeah, but that's just the case. He's a peacemaker, and if he gets smoked, that's also going to be triggering.
Yeah.
Thank goodness it didn't happen in this chapter. Like I said, I withheld my votes because you wasn't ready, bro. That's trust. Because he's not like, look, I'm not going to say we should do this and then you feel it some type of way. You ain't got your heart in it. Fuck out of here. That was smart. I think clearly the in the beginning, the guy that they that what's his name? The quote unquote good guy that was arguing with the Warpath fiend.
The good guy?
You remember his name?
Talk about Deborah.
I'm looking for his name
Deborah?
right now. Usami. Thank you.
Usami, yeah.
No, I'm talking about the conversation.
Oh, the
chapter,
humans, yes.
So, yeah. So, with the humans, the dude that Usami was arguing with, I think he's clearly he's there, because he's there because of somebody else's will. As far as like, I'm pretty sure there's a group of people letting him know, like, listen, you need to push for us to like fucking fight with them, because they don't, they probably want to be able to use the resources to put Japan in a stronger position because they're in kind of a vulnerable state with America. I mean, that's the way the series position them, right? I mean, and they're kind of forced to be like the what do they call the envoy country, and I'm pretty sure that's against Japan's will. I'm pretty, as tight as they are about their culture, I'm sure like people don't love that idea.
Well, I don't know how popular it is, but they were like because they're the representatives because they are kind of the center of cursed energy. So,
yeah. Well, no, that's the reasoning, but I'm sure they're still salty about it. Like, I'm sure if they had it their way, they'd be like, nah, fuck out of here.
We don't want to do that shit.
Or we'll meet them somewhere else.
Yeah. We'll go to them.
Let's bring them to fucking Australia and we'll meet y'all over there. You know what I mean? So I say all of that to say that clearly, like, I think he's going to represent that, and that's going to be the antagonistic force within the humans, and probably it's going to revolve around wanting to colonize like the aliens in one way, and or strong arm them into sharing their technology, etc. Yeah, I like this chapter. It kind of ended a little weak for me, but I guess it was a little funny. I don't mind. But I just really like the politically charged part of this plot.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So, series been on a high note. And make sure Jabaloma is in it at least every other chapter. And everything will be okay. All right, Brian, what were your thoughts?
I'm just so hyped that my boy Yuji might make an appearance in this fucking series. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. I'm pretty sure like there's a strong chance that he's still like pretty young looking purely because of his genetics. Like, because he's a cursed death womb, right? So
yeah, he is a cursed death womb.
I'm sure that has some kind of effect on his aging, because
or death painting,
just by looking at the lower half of his face, it doesn't look like he's old.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Maybe
he
it's
probably
like
doesn't feel.
Maybe it's like a One Piece thing where they show you one thing and then the person looks completely different.
Maybe, but I'm sure he's not happy. I'm sure he's not happy about outliving all of his homies, though. That's probably.
Well, we don't know that he's outlived everyone.
If he hasn't outlived them yet and they're still alive, they have to be like in wheelchairs.
Oh yeah, they've got to be all very old.
They are all so old.
Sure.
But he's walking around aura farming with his hoodie on, so I can't imagine that.
I bet Uy is still alive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Without a doubt.
The MVP, of course.
These are Okotsu's grandchildren, by the way.
Yes, they are his
Yuka
grandchildren.
And, yeah, so Yuji would be pretty old at this point. I mean,
Yuji would be
he
like
passed away from old age, right?
Yuji would be 2 years younger than Okotsu.
And Okotsu died from old age.
Yeah, Okotsu died of old age.
Okay.
Yeah, he seemed to have died of old age, and so did Maki.
Jabaloma.
But Brian, sorry to interrupt you.
That's it. I don't have too much to say. It's
cool.
Just a hype.
I really like this chapter. I'm honestly been very impressed with Akutami's writing. One of the complaints about the original Jujutsu Kaisen series is the lack of world building, or like, not the lack of it, but that wasn't expanded far enough to people's liking. And I feel like he's kind of doing that here, and he's proving he can kind of do that. He just chose not to for Jujutsu Kaisen because that's not what the story was about.
I guess.
I guess.
I was with you.
He could do it if he wanted to. I mean, Akutami was always a smart writer. It's just, it's not what the story was about,
Was this the intent from the beginning? Who knows?
What, this? Probably not.
To not world build?
Yeah. I think that was an intent. Yeah, I think if he wanted to, he would.
Maybe he
centralized
felt the change of heart at some point.
He centralized the power system to a single country, basically. That's how much he didn't want to. That's how much he didn't want to world build. He was like, "Nah, fuck out of here. It's just Japan." Don't you think this is One Piece? Get out of here.
Oh, listen, I have disagreements.
But you know what? He's doing it here, and
leave it at that.
I'm very, impressed with how he's like writing this kind of political intrigue, and for a series that's supposed to be a limited series, he's really like pacing it very well, and it doesn't feel like it's rushing towards a conclusion to reach whatever amount of chapters it's going to be, and all the characters are very interesting, and seeing this seeing both sides of the Simurians and the Earthlings having this kind of guy who just wants nothing but smoke from the other team is very cool. obviously Yuji coming back into the story is an exciting proposition because when you do a sequel series, it's always exciting to see the characters you're most familiar with. But I am happy that he didn't immediately rely on that, and that he set it to such a distant future that the characters that we grew up with anyway, for the most part, probably wouldn't even be a factor in any significant way, except for Itadori. But yeah, I'm excited to see how Itadori fits into all of this and how much he's changed over the years. My guess is that I wouldn't be surprised if he hasn't really changed much at all, and he's still kind of the same guy. But yeah, I've been really enjoying this, man. Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo has officially grown on me, and I wouldn't say it's on the level of its predecessor quite yet, but it is getting there. As you saw earlier, I think I did move it up this week in my tier rankings, so
It's good.
we'll see.
It's very good.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm enjoying Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo. I'm excited for the next chapter. Any other rebuttals before we move on to the next one?
No.
Jabaloma.
Jabaloma.